Oh, well, that's been a productive day today. How'd you find it, Rosie? How's your first day in Hungary?
Yeah, I mean, it's been about 24 hours now. Obviously, we started at the station this morning. I think the main thing that struck me is people are just getting on with it. I mean, how many women did we see with tiny children, multiple children, who have just got this kind of steely resilience of like, got to work out where I'm going, be practical rather than emotional, and just, you know, in pretty heartbreaking scenes. I mean, I remember you saying, I said, this is heartbreaking, looking at this sort of creche that had been set up in the station. And you said, oh no, it's actually also heartwarming.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be the environment, actually.
Yeah. It is interesting watching people. It's like people, actually, a lot of them are very calm. I mean, a lot of them are really exhausted. And obviously internally, they're probably feeling a whole range of emotions. But it's watching people go about their business as they move around. People were just kind of, they're getting on with it. It's like everybody knows the drill. People know what they have to do, and they're just going through with it. It's remarkable to see.
I thought Anna, that we spoke to this morning, was so impressive. The 19-year-old training to be a journalist in Ukraine, who spent the last few weeks desperately trying to fight disinformation to make sure that people have actually got access to the right information. And she said, actually, it's really hard to come across sources that we can trust. I'm desperate to keep doing that. And, you know, as a journalist, what an experience, what a story she'll have to tell. This one of real trauma of her going with her mum, 2 sisters, the rest of her family, to then try and establish a new life here.
Yeah, it's remarkable. You just start talking to people in the station and everyone's got a story. I mean, the other woman I remember that really stood out was the Olympic synchronized swimmer. That's somebody you found, wasn't it, Mikola?
Yeah, she was world champion 2019. She's retired now. She's 22 but retired.
Yeah, she said she was just going to travel.
Yeah.
Because suddenly, well,
life has
you've got to
changed.
start
She
again.
decided, to travel. Firstly, she go to Vienna, and after she go to Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after maybe further stages. Now it's a time. But mother staying hockey. It's crazy. Yeah. Your mother staying hockey now.
That is the really difficult thing for these people who've decided to leave, knowing that not all their family are coming with them, and what that means, the implications there, the worry, the angst is just, that's the bit that, you know, even if they've managed to find somewhere relatively safe to stay tonight, they're not going to be able to, how are they going to sleep properly knowing that they've still got family they've left behind?
Yeah, it must weigh on your mind so much. I mean, not only that, you dream of going home, but of course there's the uncertainty that your home will still be there when you get back, assuming you go back
from Kharkiv.
Yeah. And when you think, one person's a young journalist, another person's a former Olympic swimmer, you realise that whatever your social standing in Ukrainian society, this war takes no account of that.
Yeah.
Whether you're rich or poor, it takes and turns your life upside down, whoever you are.
I'm looking forward tomorrow to catching up with Anna to see what kind of position they found themselves in, how they can make this a home, and even things like for her siblings, working out how they just do basic things like go to school, how they get education. Because the other lady we spoke to, Yana, who said her children were doing online teaching with their Ukrainian teachers still, but people have got to go through all these logistics without their children have gone through the most extreme upheaval they could have done. How do you then as a parent try to secure the basics like education as well as like food, warmth, clothes, possessions? So it'll be interesting to see how Anna and her family manage to sort of start to establish a new life here, at least in the short term.
Yeah. And talking to Vanessa tonight, the hairdresser, I mean, she had a fascinating story and was also an interesting insight into the Hungarian community or Hungarian-speaking community that lives in Ukraine, because she was a Ukrainian, but really Hungarian was her first language. So she's left there, come here some years ago, 6 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, when
6 years ago.
Yeah, she's only 22 now, so she came
17.
as a teenager. Yeah.
Wow. And she's made a new life for herself here as a hairdresser. And, you know, we can see that, yeah, you can be Ukrainian and settle here, and there's a life for you.
But she's also one of those with family in Ukraine, including her grandmother, who doesn't want to leave.
Yes, it's, once again, a real story there, isn't there, about why some people are staying and
determined to stay.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And others can't get out quick enough.
Yeah.
We heard stories in Romania of the going rate for a Ukrainian male to get out and avoid the draft was 10,000 euros. And people were paying it. People were doing everything to get that money together to get smuggled out.